We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you...
Hi everybody, and welcome to VlogMas Crafts Day 7. It's amazing that it's already day number 7 because it doesn't feel like I've done that many crafts, but here we are at day number 7. So yesterday I found myself in Joann's because I am making some bows for a friend's Christmas tree, and I needed to get, here's our friend Kane jumping up on my desk. He wants to look out the window. It's snowing here in Colorado, so it's kind of chilly. But I was at Joann's, and I was just kind of looking around. I just went to get ribbon to make bows for my friend's Christmas tree, and I was just kind of looking around because they do have some really good sales on all of their Christmas accessories, ribbon, you know, just anything and everything to do with Christmas there. And they have these pom-poms, and everything is 60% off, but it still came to like $2.99, and what it was just, it was 2 pom-poms on a string. Now these aren't them, because I thought I don't even want to pay that for it, because obviously you can make them for even less than that, right? You can't really consider your time when you're making Christmas ornaments or really anything, but cost-wise, the money that you're going to put into it, obviously it's not going to cost that much to make them. But you can't always consider your time, because it does take a little bit of time to make pom-poms. Now it's been a while since I've made a pom-pom, so I kind of had to revisit that process, which it came back to me. It did. And so I made some pom-poms, and these are them. Now theirs had bells in them, just like these ones. I put bells in them. This one kind of ended up at the top of my string, whereas I was aiming for the bottom. But that's okay. They all have their own little character. So I am going to show you how I made these cute little pom-poms. And the thing with making them your own, making them yourself, is you can make them your own. I really like working with the jute. I think that it just adds a rustic touch, which is what I have throughout my house. I always like the rustic touch. I like the white, which theirs were more of a cream color, and I like the white, and I like the white with the jute. I was able to put a bow at the top of mine, which theirs was just the yarn. The same yarn that was used for the pom-pom was this. So you're always able, when you make it yourself, you're always able to do it and personalize it a little bit more like you would want to do it yourself. But aren't they adorable? I just love it. I wish I would have gotten more white yarn, but I forgot how much yarn it really does take to make pom-poms. It really does take a lot. So anyways, these are mine. I love them. I am just absolutely in love with them. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably end up putting these on the Christmas tree this year, and of course use them year after year after year after year, and just continue to make them because they are so much fun to make. So let me show you how I did this. And I sat at my couch and made them. What I did is I got one of my little trays that I purchased at the Target dollar spot, one of these, and I just went and sat. I gathered all of my stuff that I would need, put it in my tray, and I took this with me mainly so that I could shape my pom-poms and not get it all over. I still got some of it, but I just put everything that I would need in here, took it out, and sat with the girls and did it out there. So let me tell you how much I paid for this yarn. I just got the Red Heart, the Super Saver, and look, this is all I've got left of this. And I think I got this at Michael's because it was on sale. Oh, that's my Dollar Tree. I don't know, you guys, what I did. I think it was $2.96 for this, okay? So if you're going to make a lot, you're going to need to get a lot of yarn. And I do have some downstairs in my crafting bins, but I didn't think I had any white. But of course you could do these in any colors that you want. And there are ways that you could do different colors inside of them, and you can get really seriously do some fancy pom-poms. These are just basic. So what I did for that size is this is just a cracker box, and I cut it 3 inches. The width is 3 inches. The length really doesn't matter, but I just started to wind it. Now for that, I have a couple of different sizes. Let me see. This one is, these two are a bit bigger. Okay, those look a bit bigger. And then this one is a bit smaller. Okay, so I've got 2 of the bigger ones and this smaller one. So let's make another one of the smaller ones. So the bigger ones I wound 150 times. Okay. And for this one I wound 100 times. So let's wind 100 times. Now that's approximate, because I lose count, and you know, I'm just like counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's approximate, it's not exact. So don't think you have to exactly wind 100 times. So I just sit and I just, you know, kind of count to myself. I start at the top, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you want to put your yarn to where you can. Sorry, kid interruption. You know, you just want it to easily come out. If it's not, like in the beginning when you first start pulling this, it's kind of tight, so just pull some out for yourself. So we'll say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, I put a couple more in there just for good measure. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to clip that off. And then I'm going to clip off a piece. And this is just all guessing, that's about 12 inches. And I'm sure there are tons of videos on YouTube on how to make these, and you guys probably might even know a better way, but like I said, I'm just doing this from memory. My cat is wagging his tail because he's so stinking happy right now. And I just put this in the center, tie it, pull it tight as I can get it, put my thumb there, hold it down, and then finish off my square knot. Okay, and I kind of just leave that long because I like to hold on to this as I'm clipping these loops. And I just stick my scissors in there and I just clip all of these loops. All the way around. Kind of pulling up on it. There's going to be some that are kind of tucked in there. After you start giving it its haircut, you'll probably find some that you missed, and that's all good. And I just kind of shake it out. I still have my 2 strings here that I'm holding on to. I'm just going to kind of hold on to them, butt my fingers up against, flip it over, See, here's a string or a loop. And you'll run into them here and there as you're giving your pom-pom the haircut. So see, it's just all kind of uneven and kind of messy. And you can leave it like that. It's cute. It kind of looks like a pine cone that way. See how it looks kind of like a pine cone? It's kind of cute, actually, that way. It'd be cute on a Christmas tree, too. Put some glitter on that, and it looks like a funky little pine cone. And then I just start clipping. Kane's gonna drag this stuff all over the place. Just to make life easier on myself. I'm gonna get my other tray, just so that all of this can go in my tray. So I still have my tails. And I'm just holding it. And I'm just gonna give it a haircut. Now for me, this is probably the hardest part, is because I'm always afraid I'm gonna get it so uneven, and I'm just gonna keep cutting until, you know, there's like nothing left. But it all comes out in the end, and it all looks good. You know what I found is you really just can't mess it up. You know, just if you're worried about messing it up, just start cutting off less in the beginning. And then, because you can't put it back, but you can always cut more. So just want to make it into a round ball. Now if you want it smaller, then you just keep cutting more off. If you hold it kind of sideways, you can kind of see, you know, which ones are sticking out and which ones need to be cut a little bit more. You guys have probably all done this. Give it a shake. You do need a good pair of sharp scissors. Makes it easier on you. Okay, and then I just kind of take it from the opposite end from where my strings are. And I mean, it's your choice. If you want to leave it like this and use this for your ties, you can. If you don't want to attach any other strings to it, but I'm actually gonna cut those off and make them part of my pom-pom at this point. I remember making these for my roller skates when I was little. I was big into roller skating, making big old pom-poms, bigger than this even. And putting them on my roller skates was a big thing. And this really brought back a lot of memories for me, because I remember in my childhood, we had a white Christmas tree, an artificial white Christmas tree down in our family room. And my mom was a big crocheter, knitter, and we had this tree down there that was white. And every year she would set it up, and she had made all of these, I believe they were crocheted bells. And they were all pinks and reds, different colors of pinks and reds. And they all had bells. They were in the shape of bells and pom-poms, and they all had bells, like actual bells, jingle bells in them. And that's what adorned our family room tree. And so making these really brought those memories of that Christmas tree back. Oh man, how I wish I had those ornaments she had made. I wonder what she ever did with those. So see, now here's my pom-pom. Isn't it cute? So now we need to make another one that matches this size, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find my board. What did I do with it? Is it under my tray? It is. Okay, so that's what's good about making your board so that you're wrapping it. I know some people use their fingers, but I always tend to lose circulation in my fingers if I do it that way. So I'm going to take my board, and again, I'm going to go 100 times. And you don't need to wrap this tight. Okay. Got it. Slide it off. So when I wrap it really loosely. You don't need to wrap it tight. I'm going to cut off about a 12-inch piece. I'm going to just lay it in the middle and tie my knot. I'm going to tie it tight. Put my thumb there and then finish off my square knot. Okay, hold on to my ends. I'm going to cut those loops. Yeah, so I don't know, I was really thinking about that Christmas tree, and it was really beautiful, and I don't think that I really appreciated it as a child, all the work that my mom put into all of those ornaments. And it's so funny because when we met with her friends, one of my friends' daughters that went to that little friends meeting to talk about my mom with the lady that was that officiated my mom's memorial service. You know, we met, and she, you know, so that she could get to know my mom a bit more. You know, we told stories about my mom. She brought that Christmas tree up, and I just thought that was so sweet, but that she remembered that Christmas tree. And so when I started making these pom-poms this morning, it made me think of that Christmas tree and all those cute ornaments that my mom had put on that. So, you know, when you start making things like this, you never know what kind of meaning, lasting meaning they'll have for your children or your grandchildren or even your friends when they grow, or they might, when you're gone, open up a box and see something like these pom-poms or something that you've made or that you had on your tree or that you had sitting out for the holidays. How special that is. And that's, to me, part of what the holidays is. You know, we get so caught up in the commercialization of the holidays, of Christmas, and what that means. And we lose, a lot of people lose the meaning of it, which is the birth of our Lord and Savior. Or, you know, others may look at these videos as I've lost, and in fact, I haven't at all. It's about celebrating and sharing the light from within me and the joy in which I feel from the birth of my Lord and Savior. One of the things that I like is reading the billboards on churches this time of year. And I'm really bad about remembering certain things. I mean, obviously you read a lot of scriptures on those billboards this time of year, but a lot of churches will put their own little quotes on there. And one yesterday, and this isn't exact because again, my memory isn't the greatest, but it said, it was something like, it does no harm to a candle to light another candle. And I thought that that was really clever, meaning that you can share your light without it harming you. And I feel that that's what making crafting videos is. Not only am I, you know, beautifying my own home and sharing the light that's within me, the joy that I feel this time of year. I'm beautifying my home and sharing it with my family, but I'm also sharing it with all of you that choose to watch my videos. So there is our two pom-poms. See, and they're pretty, they're the same size because I wound that the same amount of times. Okay, so now we need our twine, 2 bells. I'm digging these out of my yarn fluff. And I'm looking for my piece of wire in my yarn fluff. Okay, here it is. So what I did is I took a 3-inch eye pin, which is a jewelry finding. It's what you string beads on. I tried to use just some regular floral wire, but it really wasn't strong enough to go through the centers of my pom-poms. So I had to get something thicker that didn't bend that easily, and the only thing I could come up with was this 3-inch eye pin. But if you've got something thicker that will go through it, or if you might come up with a better way, but this is what I came up with. So I really wasn't particular on the length of my twine when I cut it, but let me tell you about how long I'm going to cut this. So that's 22. So let's say 20, 30. I'm going to cut this twine at 30 inches, okay? So I have a piece of twine that's cut at 30 inches here. I straightened this piece of wire out, and I'm just going to fish the end through. It's bent in half, so I have a little hook there. I'm going to put the end of my twine through there, okay? And I'm going to kind of move my pom-pom to where I have a clean sweep into what is more than likely the center. I'm going to pinch these 2 wires together, and I am just simply going to push that wire through until I see it on the other side here. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to pull it gently, because if you pull it too hard, you're going to be pulling a lot of your yarn through. Just until I can see my twine come through. So there it is. And then I'm going to grab an end, the short end, and I'm going to finish pulling my twine, and then I'm going to unhook that, okay? That's going to alleviate me pulling any of my little loops. I still may pull a couple through, but not as many as if I would have pulled this wire all the way through there, okay? And then I'm going to restring that in there. I'm going to fish this through the end of my bell, and I'm going to pull the string through my bell, and I'm just going to simply tie a knot on the end of my twine so my bell doesn't fall off. And I'm gonna again flatten this out so my bell will nestle nicely down in there. You don't want to pull too hard. And then I'm just gonna fluff everything up. So see, my bell is just sitting nicely in there on that end of my pom-pom. Okay? And so there's my pom-pom. My bell is nestled nicely in there. And then we're gonna do the same thing to this side. Come back out a bit. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna take my wire, I'm gonna slip my twine through. I'm gonna pinch that together. I'm gonna get my pom-pom and flatten out one side. I'm gonna pinch that together, and then I'm gonna stick this in there. You gotta work it through a little till I feel it hit, and then I'm gonna flip it, and there's my end of my wire. I'm gonna gently pull it through. Now if you're feeling too much resistance, you might want to pull it out and do it again, because that means you've got a lot of loops. Like this one, I think I might have quite a few loops. You can dig in there and see, I can see my twine. But you don't want to pull a bunch of your loops out, because you just don't want to pull your loops out, because that's your pom-pom, right? So I'm going to gently try to get my twine. I think I can get it now, so I'm going to pull my wire out, grab the end of my wire, and pull it until I get my end. Okay, then I'm going to take my wire once again. I'm going to put my twine in my wire, pull it through. Get the tail through there, take it off, tie a knot. Pull my bell to the end, nestle it down inside, so I'm just going to kind of comb all of that out of the way, pull it through. Okay, give it a shake. Now if you feel like you pulled some of those out and they're longer than the rest, then just trim them. Okay, give them a shake to get their shape back to them. And so see how this one kind of came up to the side here? That's okay, that doesn't bother me. See how it's not necessarily in the bottom? That's okay, that doesn't bother me. And then to get the bow in the center, I just lifted them up. If you want them, you know, to be oblonged, not necessarily even, then just, you know, get your center wherever you want your balls to hang. I want mine in the center like that, so I just take the middle up here, and then I make a loop on one side and a loop on the other side. Right? You want them even, and then just tie in the center.
Are you looking at?
Okay, and you can tie a double knot, because this will slip a bit, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to use these for yet. So I didn't want to tie a double knot yet, in case I didn't want the bow there for, you know, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to use these for yet. But if you don't want that to slip and you know that that's where you want it, then you can just simply tie another knot there. Okay, so there you go. And then there's a bow on the top. So see how simple that is? So there's our two smaller ones. See, this one's on a shorter string. And then we've got our bigger ones. So not bad, right? So this was 100 wraps, this size, and this was 150 wraps on a 3-inch width. Okay, on a 3-inch width. Okay, now I'm going to be making sock snowmen, and I want their hats to have a little pom-pom at the end. So I made these little pom-poms, and I don't know what happened to my board, but what I did is, if you want to make little pom-poms, I took like an inch piece, so I'll just cut my 3 inches, my 3-inch board. And this is probably an inch. Yep, pretty close to an inch. And that's originally what I got this yarn for. And so to make a little pom-pom, you just basically, you know, do the same thing. So I'm going to wrap this. You know, you want it pretty small, so let's do, I think I did like 40, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's do 20. Let's take it off. Oh, and you gotta hold on to this guy because it is small. Hold on to it. Tie him off. See there, little guy. Okay, and then the same thing, I'm going to hold on to my little tails. And this time I'm not going to cut my tails off because I'm actually going to have those tails in order to cut, or in order to tie them. I don't know what happened to my little scissors. They're taking a hiatus. Oh, here they are, they're right in front of me. They have glue on them, so they're still sticking together. So again, I'm going to cut my loops. It's going to go around in a circle, cut them all off. Give your little pom-pom a haircut. So in a lot of my VlogMas craft videos, I'm trying to bring some of the old back. You know, some of the old traditional kinds of crafts. People get so caught up in the new and better things, and I really like the traditional stuff. And I don't want those old traditional crafts to get lost. So if you see me doing some of those old traditional crafts of yesterday, well, it's not because I'm stuck in yesterday. It's just because those were such great crafts and they were such great ideas. And you know, when you walk into a thrift store and you see those old ideas sitting on the shelves that somebody tossed away, and you look at them and you think, man, those were some great crafts. And I think that we need to keep those alive and remember those and teach those to our kids and our grandkids so that those don't go away, because even though there's newer and better ways in some respects and newer ways and other ways to do things, we can't let those old ones go away because those were some great ideas. So you're going to see me doing some new things because the new stuff is always great. And those can always be traditional, become traditional crafts. But the old things, we can't let those go away either, and we have to remember those. And you can always put a new twist on those old crafts. So I just kind of wanted to bring some of those older crafts back into the forefront of Christmas. Maybe put a new twist on them. Or not. Let's keep them like they were. And so then look, we've got this little tiny pom-pom for our Santa's hats. This one's bigger. This one's smaller. I think I used 50 wraps for this one, and this one was only like 20, 25. It's smaller. Isn't that funny? Okay. So that's it, you guys, for pom-poms. Quick and easy, fun to make. You can make them in all different colors. I hope you guys give this a try. You can even put these on packages, and it would be just a fun reminder for somebody to go, oh yeah, I remember making those. Or it might give somebody the idea, like your kids, to say, wow, Grandma, Mom, will you show me how to make those? And you could pass that tradition along. So I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, God bless. Bye-bye.